7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm a product of Atlanta. I'm a product of the 404. I was born at DeKalb Memorial Hospital, which is literally 8 miles right now. Georgia high school football. I love this city. I love this town. Everything. And when I talk about it and when I'm passionate about it, it's just because it's genuine. My job has been my dream job since I was a little guy. Since I was sitting in the north stands watching the Georgia Tech Georgia Thanksgiving JV football game, that was part of our tradition. Now I'm the head coach of Georgia Tech.
Yes, sir. It's another week. It's another Thursday. It's 7:30, and it's time to play, baby. It's a player's perspective, live and direct, right here at Seven Springs Studio with my man Ken Swilling, T-Cub, also known as Tom Covington, coming to you, giving you all the Georgia Tech sports, all the Georgia Tech sports talk, everything that you can deal with Georgia Tech, letting you know that this is the place to be, and I'm so glad that you're here. Ken, how you doing, my brother?
You know, I feel all right.
You feel all right?
I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good, Tom. I feel pretty good. I'm telling you.
That's what I'm talking about.
I always tell you that after a win, it sure feel the feeling is a lot different, a lot different. Than after a loss.
Right. Well, I tell you what, that was Coach Collins coming in with us, bringing us in tonight, talking from the heart, brother, about the 404, what Georgia Tech means to him, what Atlanta means to him. We kind of, cut it up a little bit just to kind of hit the points, but he went on for about a good 7 minutes on that, 5 to 7 minutes, and said that he can go on for another 45 if you wanted him to. But Ken, I'm just excited right now about what Coach Collins is doing right now on the flats. I'm excited about the way that the boys looked last weekend. You and I were just talking off camera. We were looking at a team that looks totally different coming off the bus than we have in the last 11 years.
That is the marked difference that we saw on Saturday as we looked. And we've been around the program for a little while now.
Yeah.
And we've seen the maturation of some of these young guys come along. But that's the first time I looked like what it's supposed to look like.
Exactly.
Getting off the bus, not being the smallest team, not being, looking for an excuse to well, this is why we can't do this, and
right.
Everybody looks the part.
Everybody looks the part, from the coaches on down.
Yeah, oh yeah.
From the coach on, look at Coach Pat. He done lost some weight.
Lost a little weight.
Got a little fit. He said, "I'm not gonna have people talking about my belly this year and what's going on." But this show tonight, y'all, is brought to you by the Covington Agency. We got an awesome lineup for you guys tonight. Please tune in, call your friends, let everybody know. Hey guys, let all the fellas know that we're on right now. Sit down, relax, get your popcorn, kick your feet up, and let's have a great time tonight. We have tonight, Ken, one of our star linebackers that played with us back in 1990, Mr. Calvin Tiggle, out of the Maryland area, Maryland, D.C. area.
Oh, yeah.
And so Calvin's going to come on live with us to chop it up, like he said. He wants to chop it up a little bit. So we're excited about that tonight.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Cal in a long time, brother.
Man, it's been at least 20 years since I've seen him. I probably have talked to his mama since I talked to him.
Exactly. Shout out to Miss Tiggle out there.
Miss Lula.
Miss Lula Tiggle.
She's very active on social media, and
gosh,
she kind of keeps up with everybody.
Right.
So
that's right.
It'll be good to talk to him.
But good to talk to him, and then later on in the show, we're going to have a gentleman, CEO, Mr. Jeff Henderson of 99 Products. He has developed a shoe that he has allowed me to market and wear and test out, and that I think is just a phenomenal product. I had to have him on the show. You guys have seen me market it on our website. Ken has talked about how good they look on my feet. And I think the same thing. And then if you look at them from a distance, they almost, look gold, that we can fix this thing and make it right for us down on the flats where it can actually work in and come in. But I'm excited about that. But later on in the show, we're going to have Mr. Jeff Henderson tell us his story and his background, because he's got a very interesting story to tell.
Sounds good.
About what has brought this all along.
Sounds good. Well, I'm excited.
But we're excited mostly.
Yes, sir.
Mostly
because
for 16 reasons.
16 reasons.
Yes.
Okay.
Now that was a 16-13 beat down. But the 16-13 great win over FSU last weekend down in Tallahassee.
Yes.
Through the storm and lightning. Okay, dealing with the delays and everything else. Ken, it was it had a lot of similarities to 2009 when we went down there, and there was a weather delay also. And ended up playing a phenomenal game then and coming out with a victory. A little bit more points in that game. But, Ken, I think we got a lot to be excited about in week 2 that we didn't really know too much about. We talked about it on our website. We even got a chance to hear some names that we haven't heard.
Right.
But what was your first impressions about what you saw at 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30,
5:30,
5:30, 6 o'clock on Saturday afternoon? Yellow Jackets.
My first impression, of course, was I was impressed with the size of our offensive line. I was impressed with the overall just size of our receiver core. I was impressed with our running backs, offensively and defensively. I was impressed with what I saw on defense as well. But the most impressive thing that I saw Saturday was a young man wearing number 10.
Number 10.
Yeah, Mr. Sims.
Mr. Jeff Sims out of Jacksonville, Florida. Mr. Sims, true freshman. Okay. He's still just wet behind the ears, Ken.
Man.
But the brother came along during the summer and worked his behind off, showed himself approved, and got the nod from Coach Collins and Coach Pat to basically be the starter for our Yellow Jackets in 2020.
Yeah, and what I saw, and there are going to be some bumps on the road, at the beginning and things of that nature. But he exuded such a confidence.
Yes, he did.
That it's far beyond his years.
Right.
And I don't even, there's no limit to where he can go and what he can be and all that good stuff. It was just amazing to kind of see him mature even as we watched the game.
Right.
Because you saw him make mistakes, you saw him miss some reads and do some different things, but you also saw him have a calm resolve about himself.
Yes, he did.
And not allow those things to throw him off.
Right.
And he was able to come back and stayed focused in the game. I commend all the young men because I don't know, if we ever played during a weather delay. I don't think we ever had a moment where it was a weather delay or anything like that. Back when we played.
When we played, no.
Yeah,
never had
weather that would have been that probably would have been disturbing to me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because you're ready, you hyped to play, you're ready to play.
Want to go.
And they backed them down, and then they sent them to the locker room. They stayed in, and I think I was more tired at the house than they were. Because I'm sitting here trying to wait on the game.
Now we sat through Hurricane Hugo prior to the game and slept in a hot no air conditioned hotel.
Why would you bring that up?
It was just you finally got rid of those nightmares, didn't you?
I had the only thing I can remember about flying to Columbia, South Carolina, that night was Thomas Balcom and some of those guys, bigger guys, hollering and screaming.
Now, Bach would scream on a plane flight anytime.
Well, that's true.
But
this time he was for real. This time. Because he had some more people with him screaming and hollering that night.
Yes, he did. I mean, that Hurricane Hugo came through.
1989, we were playing University of South Carolina.
And I mean, devastated the area. We walked into a hotel with their emergency lights on.
Yes.
And these people were trying to make do, and shout out to I forgot the hotel, but they did a great job, Ken. and helping us out, getting us fed, making sure that we can be as comfortable as we can be, but the windows don't open.
Yeah, we laid in the hallway
And
that
that
night.
AC was not working. And about 2 people sat out in the hallway, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, I think everybody was in the hallway.
Yeah.
Because it was just too hot in the room.
And it was an 8 o'clock game the night.
We had to wait all day the
all day
next
long.
day.
So yeah, we lost that game.
It was Hurricane Hugo's fault, but they set that up. They set it up on us, and but I think that was also a pivotal point for us of turning ourselves around.
Yep.
Because we really felt like we were better than we were at that time, and we thought we should have played better. But getting back to Jeff, okay, over 270 yards passing.
Yeah.
The gentleman had 2 picks, but it really didn't faze him, Ken. And his poise in the pocket, his control of the offense, his energy level out there on the field, both running and passing, gave us a new aspect of what was going on out there, that somebody out here can literally throw the ball.
Right.
Okay, and not to take away from a lot of other guys and stuff like that, but he did it with a lot of accuracy, and he did it with a lot of velocity, and he did it in a fashion that really we were looking at a possibility of even having. We left 21 points on the floor, on the field.
On the field, pretty
21
much.
points.
Yeah.
So I mean, but the guys around him, stepped up. Now we didn't get a chance to see Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay,
Right.
He's supposed to come out today, but Jordan Mason just took off from where he left off last year, looking bigger, better, faster, leaner, doing this thing out there. But we got a chance to hear some other names, With Dante Smith, played a heck of a game.
Late in that ball game, I think if you don't have a Dante Smith in that ball game, it could go the other way.
It could go the other way
because he was able to to catch a couple of passes out the backfield and get some decent runs that we needed at that moment. That kind of secured the ball game for us.
So it did. And then all of a sudden we saw a group of guys out there running and catching the ball, and we weren't quite sure what that was all about. But for the first time in 11 years, we got a true sense of what we have at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
And then not to mention, Jalen Camp looked good.
Yeah.
I was telling you about a situation looking at Amarian Brown, man. He was standing on the line of scrimmage. They said go, and the brother looked like a dot.
Right.
He was
exactly.
out of there.
Yeah.
So the speed that we have out there, the control, the aspect of what's going on, these guys are doing a heck of a job. And now I know it's just week 1. I understand everybody, but it's a long time coming. And we've seen some potential in these guys and what they can do. And they actually now are being able to spread their wings a little bit.
Right.
And I'm excited to see the progression, Ken.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, winning is always better than losing.
It really is. It really
so,
is.
excuse our excitement and exuberance for what we have seen thus far. It's one game, and it's football, and it's football season, so we want to see more. I tell you what, speaking of seeing more, I really want to see more of Marquise Ezard.
Yes.
I think he is one of our receivers that I can't wait to see him kind of come into his own.
Into his own. The pass he caught there showed great hands and great speed.
Yes, you really did. You had 10 different receivers to catch the ball. So the ball was being spread around, distributed nicely, and I thought Coach Patton did a really good job of called a really good game. He kept Jeff into a real nice intermediate kind of game that we hadn't seen in a while, because we were kind of boom or bust,
right?
Exactly. over especially last year. You had those big things where accuracy was missing a little bit.
It was missing, but shout out to James Graham, because he did a hell of a job with that long pass.
Right.
It was a beautiful ball.
Right.
And he gave us some nice highlights.
Nice highlights and all that good stuff. But you need that intermediate passing game to kind of to level everything out, because now I don't know what's going to happen. If I'm a defender, I don't know what to do. I don't know. If I need to break down, if I need to come forward, if I need to keep getting back, or what I need to do in order to defend this. So it was just good to see. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm elated that Jeff was really he was. I can't even describe the words to it. I was trying to look at why he was so poised. I was like, he was way beyond his years.
Yes, and
Way beyond his years.
And to hear the scouting report on him, that kind of fit his demeanor, Ken. He kind of reminds me a little bit of you actually coming in. He had the same personality, great background, great parents, great person, handles himself more maturely than a kid would at his age, and actually has a lot of poise coming in and doing some things off the field that he's going to actually bring to the field.
Right.
But what we're going to do right now is that we're going to bring in this awesome gentleman, an awesome football player, legend over at Georgia Tech, linebacker, big-time playmaker, baller out of the D.C. area, Baltimore area, Silver Springs, all that stuff up there. That man came out here and balled out. You all know him. We know him as Tig. Y'all know him as Calvin Tiggle. Cal, what's up, brother? Come on the show. What you got going on?
Oh, man. Y'all still the same. Nothing does not change at all, man. It's good to hear y'all boys. I miss y'all. The camaraderie, and the fun that we had together, man. I miss y'all.
Oh,
I
yeah.
miss y'all.
Well, Cal, man, brother, I'm so happy that you're able to make some time for us tonight because we got about 20 years to catch up on.
In 5 minutes.
Because in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we might stretch it to 12 minutes. But Cal, man, I mean, brother, we miss you, man. We love you. I just want to get you that out. And because, I mean, since the time that you left Tech, it has maybe been once or twice that we've been able to see you. Tell us what has happened since you actually left the Flats.
Oh, man. Since I left Tech, I just been, because, I played up in Tampa for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I went up to Canada and played 8 years up in Canada.
Ooh.
And so from that, I retired. I gave it up. I was getting too old. My bones was getting a little brittle.
Yeah, we all can't stay out there for 14 years like Marco can. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
But Marco, that's a different beast.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Since the day we met him, we knew that. That's
Yes.
for sure.
Right.
But Cal,
Cal,
you went to the NFL. You played on Tampa Bay. You went down there. What was that experience like at that time? I mean, of course, they were not the team that they are today, and everything else. But that was a great experience for you, and of course, that was a dream for all of us just to make it to the NFL.
Man, it was a wonderful experience. It was a learning experience, and it was a professional growth experience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just dealing with not only just focusing and having fun playing a sport that you love and grew up loving, but the business aspect of it too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what kind of, with that growth as a young man into a man
Right.
that you experience. But it was really a fun time. I have no regrets. I had everybody who I encountered and through that transition
Mm-hmm.
was good to me and positive, and God blessing to them. They was angels surrounding me, supporting me. So it was wonderful. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was with you in Tampa for a minute because I think we got drafted at the same time, and I was drafted in the 7th round. I think you were drafted. You might have been in the year before me, and Calvin was showing me around down there.
Oh, okay.
So I had somebody to kind of lean on, and he was trying to tell me, "Swill, you need to do this, you need to do that." I guess I wasn't listening good enough because I got cut. But it was just good. Calvin's always been that guy. Calvin, we talking about the old times and all this good stuff. You made some plays during our national championship run that were just I don't even know where you came from in some of these situations.
Ooh, yes, sir.
And you really inspired. You inspired our team. You inspired myself, and everybody to really play harder. And that was one thing that that I remembered from our time together is before we took the field, and I want to say you might have started this. We would always embrace each other and hug each other and tell everybody that we loved them, and then we would take the field together. I'm getting teary-eyed talking about it right now because because it was just one of those things. Just talk about that just a little bit, Kelvin.
Wow, teary-eyed. You don't understand what you got me going through right now. I want to reiterate what you were saying about when you came to Tampa. Everything you just explained and expressed, that's how I felt when I first came to Georgia Tech. Because Ken, you was that man. You know, everybody wanted to be around Ken, follow Ken. You not only on what you exemplify on the field, but off the field as well. So you also was my inspiration of want to be that person. I wanted to be like Ken. You know, when I came to Georgia Tech, you showed me around. You gave me the ropes. You told me what to do and not to do, just not by even words, by your actions. So and that also helped me before the games to want to be like you, to transcend into you, to motivate and just have that love and effect because you had that family atmosphere about you. And the team, you made that team feel like a family. So before we enter a battlefield, we came together, embraced one another, and prepared each other to go out there and give it 100%. Thank you for that, Ken, and everybody else on that team at that time. But that's what it all surrounded and came from you, Ken. It really did.
I just want these guys today to kind of have just a fraction of what we had in relationships with one another at that time to understand how special this is. I mean, Cal, the only negative part about your career at Georgia Tech was that you just weren't here long enough. You just weren't here long enough. And everybody had to pretty much watch fast. I mean, you were here like for 2 years, right, Ken? Right, Cal?
Yeah.
So it was just for 2 years, and then you come out there like Ken was alluding to, just out there balling, brother. I mean, you know, pass blocking, knocking down passes, laying out, picking up picks, running down, nice hits. Guys couldn't even block you. You know, those little things that go on in the trenches that people don't really see that are just special attributes that linebackers have. But then just the light attitude, the warmth that you would actually exude amongst the players to where, you know, you could knock somebody's block off, but then you can come around there and put that big smile on somebody and just say, man, I love you. And it could just be a 180. But you tell us just a little bit about what your experience was at Tech in that short period of time and just kind of what you got out of all of that.
Wow. I want to say it was mostly because I came from a JUCO.
Uh-huh. Right.
And Bobby Ross was that I want to say that window for me because when I was in high school in Maryland, he was coaching at University of Maryland, and he was recruiting me then to come to Maryland.
Right.
So one thing led to another. I ended up at JUCO, and he went from Maryland to Georgia Tech.
Right.
And I was supposed to, after JUCO, go to North Carolina. But we played a game at South Carolina, and we won the game. And walking on the field, it was Bobby Ross. And it shocked me. And he explained to me, I remember you and broke it down about in high school when I was coaching at University of Maryland. and now I'm at Georgia Tech, and I would still like, for you to join us, and I'm like, for a head coach to take the time to come out, watch a game, and then still interested and kind of like following you as far as your travels in life. That right there, it sold me. I said, I'm there. I'm coming.
Gotcha.
I'm coming. And then when I came on a visit, and that's when I met all of y'all. I'm like, this is something. Oh man, I want to be a part of this. And so when I arrived at Georgia Tech, everyone, all of y'all, from everybody from Georgia up from New York to Ohio, from the different personalities and the guys that on the team, it was something special, and with y'all and the camaraderie that y'all had, this made me just y'all. I can't explain it, but y'all brought something else out in me.
Well, we were all plants. We were plants. we were hired just to come and be there to make you come and play at Tech.
Yes.
Hey, so Calvin, you went to JUCO with my homeboy Leonard, right? Willow, right? Didn't you go to JUCO with him? Yeah, y'all were at Lee's McCray together, and that's how I remembered and knew of you before I even met Calvin. I knew of him because we call him Tink, but his name is Leonard Willer. He always talked about my roommate, this, that, and the third, and it's just one of those things that Calvin just. I can't describe it. We can't talk about it on air. Some of the stuff that we got into, but but from watching somebody have an effect on a team that he was just only at college for 2 years at Georgia Tech for 2 years, but his name and recognition will always go down. For his catch in Virginia, the interception,
absolutely,
the tackles, everything that you did, the goal line stands against Clemson. All this stuff that happened in the 2 year span that you were there, and that was something about. That was the first time I ever seen somebody come on a college campus and really just be ready to. Okay, he ready to go right now.
Just ready to ball.
Just roll him out.
Right. That's right. Well, I think also the blessings were that you didn't have to worry about the ponies. I don't know. Did he have to worry about ponies?
No, he didn't wear ponies.
Did you? Were we out? Were the ponies gone when you were here?
I think so. To be honest,
I know. I got a couple of pictures with you in black Nikes right now, so I know. They were
right.
So
that's right. No, we were in the black Nike. Those same Nikes that was melting when we played Clemson out there on the field.
On that field. Well, Calvin, that was sort of some of the greatest times ever for a lot of us. But it also helped you to become successful and move forward and everything else. Tell us what you're doing now up there in Maryland. I hear that you're having a lot of impact there on the youth up there in the Maryland area also.
So I work with Parks and Rec, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission in Prince George's County in Maryland. I'm a regional manager, and what that entails is that I oversee 3 community centers, which has a facility director and a program specialist, and we have, as a whole, an impact on the communities. We offer programs from the youth, from pee-wees up to senior citizens. And basically we give exercise classes, tutoring, aftercare programs, and that all alludes to food assistance, help with their homework. We really have a big impact in their lives. And this is my 14th year, and I have encountered kids that became as young men and women
Right.
that went off into the military and came back and gave and not thinking about what you are doing for people, but when they come back and Mr. Tiggle, thank you for this advice, thank you for that. What you're not even thinking about is just something every day what you do at your job,
Right.
and to see them grow and they have a positive influence in the community themselves, and they come back and thank you for that. It's a gratified feeling, and I tell the youth and tell everybody pretty much all the time that I learned all of this from being on a team, a football team, a team of, managing staff, dealing with different personalities. And I thank y'all for that, for the position that I'm holding down now, because when for me going through that experience through my life, that I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. And so yes, that's what I'm doing, and I'm blessed. I'm very blessed to get up and do something that I love again.
Right.
To have an impact in someone's life.
That is awesome. Cal, I couldn't see a better person for that. Just knowing you and everything about you, that it just sounds like the perfect setup and situation for you. I know that they are blessed to have you in that capacity. I wish you much success in that role. Continuing on, I know you guys probably got a lot of things going on now with COVID. That's kind of maybe interrupting a lot of that. But I know you can't wait to get back around the youth and making sure that they get on the right path. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little commercial break, and then we're going to come back, Ken. I keep wanting to call you Ken, Cal, and
I am sitting right beside
you. Right beside me. I know. Hey, brother, we are getting old. You hear me? We are getting old. But Cal, when we come back, I just wanted to hear some of your thoughts about what's going on at the Flats, what you think maybe about Coach Collins, maybe some of the things that are happening right now with the football team, and just kind of get some last words from you then, okay? We're going to come right back in about a minute, so you guys enjoy the commercial.
Are you experiencing fatigue? Can't seem to lose those unwanted pounds? Trouble focusing? Perhaps you need a really good detox regimen. Look no further. Begin your Tava lifestyle today. Visit kqtavana.tavalifestyle.com or call Queen Covington at 404-226-0973 for more info. Your health is your wealth, and it's right around the corner. Own it today.
Yes, this segment with Calvin Tagle is sponsored we're out there, folks, and you need it, and your assets and everything else that you need out there in life is important, and you want to take care of that. Give me a call. We need to talk. Life begins with a conversation, and let's get it. Cal.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about these boys on the Flats.
Man, just kind of, I got a glimpse of it. I didn't really watch the total game, but I see a big difference just on the offensive side of things.
Right.
They're more diverse as far as the play calling, and they more spread out, more open field as far as not focusing on just the run, but spreading that ball out among everyone, the receivers and stuff, to allow things to open. And that's the experience I remember when I was playing with a Yellow Jacket, that with awesome Sean Jones, awesome quarterback, that he spread the ball. The offensive coordinator, they spread that ball out and had defenses guessing of what's coming at them, and that allowed them to have more, like a chess game. You have more moves to make, and I see that going in the right direction.
That is awesome, and we are actually seeing a lot of that going on right now too. A big part of our success in the '90s is the defense, and how well you guys played out there. From a linebacker's perspective, tell us about the guys that you've seen out there playing. What kind of advice can you give them going forward, especially against teams that like to throw the ball like University of Central Florida?
The big advice that I could give them, what I learned over the years, is that not only practice, when you're out there on that practice field and you practicing against your opponent, get in that film room.
Yes, sir.
Because that once you dissect a film and really get to know their play before they do it, you are a step ahead of the game. So I would say really focus and put that in your repertoire of studying your opponent on their film of the games they have played previously, to better prepare you to play against them.
There you go. There you go. Words of wisdom from a magnanimous, awesome baller on the flats, Mr. Calvin Tiggle.
Yes, sir.
Cal, we appreciate you taking some time out. We want to have you back later on in the year, if that's okay, and bring you back on the show and just kind of hear some of what you think about these guys at that point. But we thank you so much for coming on the show with us today, brother, sharing with everybody out there, giving some GT love, and everybody was excited to hear from you and know and wanted to know what was going on with you. So we greatly appreciate you bringing that flavor to a player's perspective tonight.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the invite and the opportunity to share, allow me to share my thoughts and my passion, the times with you all. And I do have one quick question.
Sure.
I know through this pandemic that as far as going to a game, that looks different now. How is Georgia Tech handling that? Is there still no fans at the game, or can certain people go to the game?
Well, Tech, actually a good thing to do is check out Todd Stansberry podcast. It's called the Toddcast that Georgia Tech does out there. He talked a lot about what was about to happen this year. A lot of people have, we've been talking about it too. Tech has experience in this field. Right. Back in 1918, there was another pandemic, and Georgia Tech actually had all the people in the stands with masks on. And they actually knew what to do and how to do it, and everybody participated like they should. Well, Georgia Tech will allow 11,000 folks to come to the game this weekend, and they actually have developed an app that strategically sits people throughout the stadium on Saturday to keep distancing at a premium. All fans are going to be required to wear masks into the facility. They can take it off where they sit. But anytime that they move around or engage or get close to people, go to the concession stand, they have to wear that mask. People will be constantly, all of the crew will be throughout the stadium cleaning the facilities, wiping down the handrails, and making sure that everybody has a pleasurable experience and doing that. And so, yeah, it's going to be different. It's going to be different. But I was sitting there, Ken, thinking a lot of times that it's almost going to be what we actually experience as players, is that there's a point where you come out there and you recognize the fans, whether it's a good crowd or a bad crowd.
Oh, you always recognize them.
You see what I'm saying? And you're like, if it was a great crowd, man, you got pumped up.
Oh,
if it wasn't that great of a crowd, you tried to pump yourself up.
Right. Well, you got to bring your own juice.
You got to bring your own juice. But once that whistle blew, people would often say, could you hear this? No, I really couldn't. The focus and everything that we have as players on that field, if you're not listening to the call or the play or tuned into what you need to be listening to, you're going to mess up. And so we really train ourselves to kind of do that. So once the game gets started, I think the guys are going to be cool. The fan experience will be different.
Yeah.
But all the music, the festive parts of it, the Jumbotron, Cal, and everything else, all that stuff is going to be going on just like in a regular
And
game.
they got new LED lights and all that good stuff. They got going on a new sound package and all that stuff.
Right.
So they're not coming out to Welcome to the Jungle anymore, Cal. I'm telling you, going to a Tech game is almost like going to the city. And we know what city I'm talking about.
That's
almost.
right. It was magical.
It's a little different.
It was magical. We love you, Cal. We love you, brother. We love you. We love you. And, brother, man, thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll be talking to you and keeping up with you later. Have a great day. Stay safe out there. Give your love to your mom. And, brother, appreciate you so much for just coming on the show today.
Thank you. I love y'all, too. Y'all stay safe. Tell families. Hug and kiss them.
Oh, yes, sir.
And y'all stay blessed, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right, Cal. Have a good one, man.
Peace.
Okay, you too.
That was Calvin Tickle, you all. Georgia Tech linebacker, 1990 superstar. Went on and played in Canada in the cold.
Yeah.
And coming from Baltimore and all that kind of stuff, Cal was a little used to the cold.
He was used to it.
He was okay, But I can just imagine him up there, with that voice, how can it's cold out here.
I'll tell you what, it was funny, and I should have asked him this. Next time when I talk to him, I'll ask him about this. Because when you go to Canada, there are certain positions that are reserved for like only Canadian ball players can play those positions or whatever.
Is that right?
Yeah,
So now I don't know about that. Enlighten me.
Well, like free safety and different spots. So the game is a little bit different. It's a little bit faster.
Okay.
Because they can take off the rules are a little bit different. They got a bigger field and all that good stuff. But it is definitely cold up there. I wasn't ready.
9 months out of the year, it's cold
man,
up there,
it was cold. It was cold in September.
Yes,
I was up there it was September. And
right
right now.
Yeah, it
was cold.
You see that cold front about to come through here? Right? It's about to be in the 40s in the next few days.
Yeah, I know.
And so, but Canada, that's just like negative 10.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I couldn't deal with that.
Couldn't deal with that. But that was exciting to have Cal come back, man, and hear from him and just hear his voice and everything. And so that was exciting. But Tech, hey, UCF, University of Central Florida.
Yes.
The school that Coach O'Leary built. Basically, he really just transformed that whole dynamic down there in Orlando. I mean, it is actually one of the largest student bodies in Florida. And for Coach O'Leary, he just didn't understand how it couldn't be a bigger program.
Right.
Just because of the facilities that they had to build up the facilities and do those type of things. But the exposure that they had and the amount of people that they have and the support and everything else, it was just a matter of putting together a program to make it all happen.
Yeah, and Coach O'Leary was the right guy at the right time in that situation.
Right.
And he had done some good stuff here at Georgia Tech, and then was able to go down and had quite a few guys from this current staff on his staff
at that time.
So it was
Coach
good.
Collins,
Coach Collins, Coach Stacker, I think Brent Key, and guys like that, were all around him at that moment. So they have a great allegiance to Coach O'Leary, and I don't blame him because he was always effort and enthusiasm, man. Effort and enthusiasm.
Get there on that.
Get there on that. Kenny, what are you doing? What are you doing?
You jack off. Turn your hat around, looking like a little jack off.
He was a little different too, but he got his point across. and he was a heck of a defensive mind.
Right.
He always knew what he wanted to where he wanted you to be, and how he needed you to be there.
Right.
And he needed you to show up angry most of the time. So
Right.
and you play like your coaches coach you.
Right. That's
And
That's
they were able to coach us a little bit differently back then.
Yeah.
They could get in your face and kind of rough you up a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
But he was one of those guys had that that charred tobacco in his mouth, and and by the time he got done with it, it was all outside of his mouth and everywhere, and you didn't want him spitting and talking to you. You know what I'm saying? So, you try to stay on his good side, but he was that kind of coach, and he was always on fire and always fired up about the game. Right. Had a great passion for the game, and you could tell, and that was infectious to us because he was just that guy, and you wanted to play for him defensively. Exactly. When he called something from the box, or when he called something from the field, right. you knew where you needed to be, and you knew it was the right call. You knew it was the right call.
I mean, this weekend, I think that the game is going to be hugely won on the defensive side of the ball. Watching some tape of UCF, man, they use their tight ends very well. They're very sneaky with them. They like to put the defense of secondary in predicaments out there with a lot of twists, a lot of delays, a lot of slips, and out there. The safety, Wanye, he's going to have to be on his toes.
Got to be disciplined.
He's going to have to be really disciplined, watching what's going on out there and keeping his responsibility intact. They're going to put a lot of pressure on the secondary with those verticals and everything else. They like to throw the ball downfield. But even coming out of the backfield, they're using their backs well. They've got a very balanced offense, okay? And Dylan Gabriel is basically coming to his own following McKenzie Milton that was there that fell to that horrific injury that he's going through. And you guys saw the story. I put it on our website. But he's coming back, okay? But they were very good friends. But, Dylan stepped up in there and has become a very good quarterback of his own. And this offense is one that is definitely going to challenge us on defense.
Yeah, I think so. And the big challenge is really going to be coming from the standpoint of the pace that they like to go at. They like to go at an extremely high rate of speed, and that's going to that could pose a challenge to Georgia Tech. And with Tech having a game last week, kind of got them ready for that. And Coach Sack even talked about it to that point in his press conference that he was kind of taken a little bit aback by some stuff that Florida State did in their first 10 to 15 plays, right. Because they moved with a little pace, and they did some things that, hey, we weren't ready for, but thank God for the lightning delay.
There you go. Absolutely.
So they were able to come, they were able to get
adjustments.
in, and they look. It's crazy because they looked like a different team when they came back out of the break. But I think I agree with you on this. Georgia Tech's is really going to be challenged on the defensive side of the ball with getting people into the game, getting lined up right, and doing the things that they need to do in order for it to really come alive and come away with the victory.
Defensive lineman Kalia Davis is not going to be playing for UCF. He was a big-time contributor to the defense last year with 27 tackles, 8 tackles for losses, and 3 sacks. He chose not to play this year because of COVID. And so he will not be part of the team playing, but they've got a couple of guys, Kenny Turnier, that's returning, and the 2 Erics at linebacker.
Right.
And so I think that what Georgia Tech is going to have to do on offense is almost kind of do what they've done, but just not make the mistakes.
Right.
And capitalize on those drives, especially when we get into the red zone, to convert them to points. Fix that whole debacle we had at the field goal kicking. Okay, we got to get that straight. But I think that to find ourselves when we can to get ahead and to keep that lead is going to be imperative. Because anytime that they score, we're going to have to answer.
We're going to have to answer. You're right about that.
But this is their first game, so they're going to have a little rust on them and everything else too. We hope. but also what you're looking at too is just that we got to capitalize on that and capitalize on it early and use it to our advantage.
I agree with that. Those are things that you from this is what I want to see this week from Georgia Tech. You want to see them be able to handle success,
Right.
number one, and then be able to grow from the victory last week. What did you learn? What did you take away from it, and be able to capitalize and move it forward into this week, and make sure that we're able to stay grounded.
Right.
We know that we can win. We can come from behind. We answer the question with
That's
that.
right.
We know that our defense is going to be relentless
right.
because they were relentless all week long. And where is Ryan? Where does Ryan Curtis kid come from? Where did he come from? Curtis Ryan kid. Where did he come?
Brother, first of all, he was a walk-on. Okay, and then he stepped in and earned himself a scholarship.
Yeah.
But I don't know where he came from, but the opportunity presented itself,
And he stepped forward.
and
Yeah.
showed up.
Right,
Okay,
right.
and that's what I want to do. So start talking about stepping. Okay, because I've been stepping with some new feet lately.
Okay.
Yep, with my little 99s on and looking good. They call this color the chalk. Okay, and everything else. But I came across this with a young gentleman by the name of Mr. Jeff Henderson, CEO of this wonderful footwear company. He has a wonderful story that I want him to share with us today. And we were fortunate enough to get him to call in today and be a guest on our show. Mr. Jeff Henderson, CEO. And I'm going to have to kind of get it right if it's 99 products or if it's the Andens or and things or something like that, brother. But welcome to the Player's Perspective and welcome to our show.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for having me on. It's incredible to be on here, and I'm just laughing at you all talking about how cold it is in Canada. I'm from Ohio. I went to school in Indiana for a minute, and I came down to Georgia Tech, and everybody was talking about it's so cold. And I was like, I'm still wearing shorts in the winter. I was feeling good. I went back home to Ohio. I went in the house. I didn't leave until I went back to Atlanta. I was like, I'm never going there again. Never. So I completely appreciate y'all. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So we wanted to get a chance for you to share your story. You've got a lot of passion and a lot of experience in the footwear. I got a chance to work for Nike a little bit in the past, learning more about the footwear and everything else. You took that to your advantage. I hear you were with Kohan. You were with Jeezy, and you did some things not only with Nike, but there was another company I think you had some experience. But tell us more about what your background is, and then also enlighten us on the vision that you have with the educators of the world right now.
Yeah, no doubt. So I actually graduated from Georgia Tech in '96 with an engineering degree.
Yes, sir.
I had no idea how to get into design, and landed me a job basically being an engineer doing 2D blueprints at Nike in Oregon. And so I was able to turn that, speaking of walk-on, I turned that into walking on to the design team. Did years in kids' shoes, basketball. We did 3 years living in Japan. That was amazing. And then went back to Oregon and was like, I need to leave. So ended up in New York with Kohan, where I was innovation director.
Gotcha.
Nike sold Kohan, and when they did that, I sort of was like, do I go back to Oregon or do I stay here and make it on my own? And so I decided to stay here in New York, give it a go, and kind of work on my own projects, and landed through the effort of some good friends at working with Yeezy, worked with Under Armour, worked with Converse again, which is still a Nike family, and sort of had a lot of good projects and stuff to work on. And I was doing a lot of travel, because a lot of what most people don't know when they get into product design is that you end up going all over the world, which is sort of a benefit to the job because that's where the factories are.
Right.
And so I'd done a lot of work in Vietnam and Korea, a little bit of Europe, and then a lot of stuff in China. What actually happened is when I was in China working on a project, one of the factory owners was like, we make really good shoes, don't we? And he was just being sort of like kind of cocky about it. I was like, if you make it better, I'll sell it in the U.S. So my very next trip, which is like a couple months later, I show up at a dinner. My partner in China is laughing his butt off because he sees what's about to get handed to me. This beautiful box with basically the first prototype of the shoe you have in your hand.
Wow.
And all the owner said was, how many pairs do you want? And I was
Wow.
I had no plans of doing anything until that moment. And I was like, yo, he called me on it. So on the flight back, I had his shoe with me in my hands. And I'm like, you know what? I want to do something, but I didn't have, it was never in my mindset to say, I want to build my own brand. I want to do something like that. Just never in my purview.
Okay.
And I had this thought of, I really want to make shoes for the people in the world who've never even touched the shoes that I've worked on. And so I have a few friends, like you can imagine, like I worked at Nike, so I have a lot of people who sold a lot of shoes.
Right.
And we have a little bit of arrogance. It's kind of, refer to it like playing in the league. Like we play at a place that, like, we don't miss.
Right.
But yet, the reality is, like, most people on this planet have never touched a Jordan. Most people on this planet have never touched a Yeezy. And so, and some of it's not about money, it's just about access.
Mhm.
So we're like,
Right.
you know what if we, like, took what we knew in terms of, like, our ability to engineer and create, and we made it at a price point that we're not making cheap shoes, but we're making a shoe that other people can access.
Right.
And so if we do that, why don't we use people who are, I mean, I don't want to say ordinary people because they're stars in their own right, but who are people who don't get celebrated. And that was teachers, and that was doctors, and that was journalists. And this was maybe 2 years ago now.
Okay.
And so we just started down this path of, like, basically throwing events for teachers, throwing events for essential workers
Mhm.
when COVID hit, just giving away shoes in that world. That's kind of how it started.
Wow. Wow. That is awesome.
Yeah, Jeff, this is Ken Swilling here. I tell you what, let me ask you this: what sizes do you have? Because I have a special kind of foot. So I'm looking at Tom's shoes, and you know, his foot is cute and pretty and slim, dainty. Yeah, there you go. He got a dainty foot. There you go.
I've been trying to tell people that forever, man. They didn't believe it.
They ain't buying it.
That's right. That's right.
This first run that we did, we only went from size a women's 6 all the way up to a men's 14.
Okay.
And so that was a test run. We're in plans now, and that was like this first set was really just to figure out how everything was going to work.
Mhm.
And now we're going to definitely bulk up. So we're going to go all the way from a women's 4 all the way up to, or a men's 4 all the way up to a men's 17.
Okay.
With the idea we're going to bring different other models. So
Right.
not just the running shoe, we're going to do some other things. So right now, I mean, truth be told, right now I'm just in the process of going through all this investor conversation because that's part of where it starts out when you're a startup. Just getting folks to kind of believe in the plan and the business. So having folks like you believe in it is a big deal for me.
Well, oversized 12, you have half sizes. That's genius, brother. I mean, what
Yeah, that's
made
true.
you think
That's
about
true,
that?
man.
I don't understand why more people don't do it. But you know, to graduate from tech, I can understand that. But talk to me a little bit about the thought process behind that.
So it really became, I wear 13, so I understand, like, for me, when you get that shoe that fits, I know that a lot of people, when you get to a certain size, you take an L. You go, I'll just take this size. It doesn't really work for me.
Right.
And so we started to go with, like, all right, let's take it at least up half a notch. So for the first run, we did up to size 13 and half size.
Mhm.
And then as we grow, we're going to continue to spread that out because we know that there's just a need for it. And
Right.
the reality is this goes back to this is for everybody. So the other piece that we're going to do is start to develop shoes that are wider. Instead of developing a shoe that's just a wide version of your normal shoe,
Right.
we're going to work on shoes that are like actually just wide. So if you have a narrow foot, walk away because we didn't make the shoe for you.
Well, when
So,
y'all
yeah.
when y'all get to test subjects for that, I volunteer right now. Now I'm not gonna stand in line for this vaccine, but I'm standing in line for these shoes. Man. I'm here for it. I'm telling you.
I love that.
Well, Jeff, that's phenomenal, brother, and your story is worth telling. Please let our listeners out here know how they can learn more about your project, your shoes, how they can order them, and then and where we can go. I've seen you on Twitter and that kind of stuff. Just kind of give us some locations of finding more about your product.
No doubt. Well, they can go to 99 Products, spell it all out, NINETY 9 NINE Products PRODUCTS.com. Just search for 99 Products. You can search for Jeffrey Allen Henderson, and you will somehow land on these yellow shoes. And when you see the yellow shoes, I think you don't miss these yellow shoes. They pretty much stand out. So we take any and all comers. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook. Wherever you're at, we're going to show you some products.
Well, I think that they're phenomenal, brother. I pulled them out the box, and my wife immediately said, "Ooh." She said, "Those are fresh. I like those. I like those."
Nice.
Jeff,
Well, she did order the pair. She ordered a pair, right?
Well, yeah, we're going to absolutely. She wants the pair, and those pair are on order, baby. She was just like, "Okay, where's mine?" And I was just like, "Well, Jeff didn't tell me to get you any right now, so I was just trying to do what Jeff told me to do."
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I take that L.
yeah.
you see how he put it all on you, right?
I don't know that brother that well.
Well, brother, I am going to.
But
Yeah, I'm going to spread the word and the love for you, man. And I think that they feel great. I think that the technology is awesome in there. I'm not doing much running, but that walking for now and everything else, they really suit that with the full support going all the way through the foot there.
fiber plate.
There you
All
go.
the
Exactly.
technology you need.
That's it.
All the technology you need, brother.
And so I really appreciate that, brother. And our listeners are out there excited about them too. So just going to the site, they can order the product, right?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
There you go. So
Or at least leave a message, some of positivity for like the teachers and the essential workers that are out there. Like,
absolutely.
to me, that's why we're doing this.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on the show today, brother, taking the time out, sharing your story. We really appreciate you and love what you're doing out there.
Appreciate it. Y'all keep doing the same.
All right, man. Wider shoes, man.
right.
Wider shoes, man.
On it,
15 wide, 15 triple E. That's what I got right now. That's what I'm working with, bro.
That's CEO Jeff Henderson for 99 Products on a Player's Perspective. Thank you so much for joining us, Jeff. Have a great night.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, that was awesome, man. I'm telling you. I mean, the site, Georgia Tech and what we do and the guys that when we get out into the world and the contributions that we make, this is just something else.
Yeah, that's something else.
And the ability to go out there and think of people. When you see one of his videos, he talks about pretty much putting a spotlight on them because of the color and everything. People are going to instantly notice.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed them, man. I've been trying to step on them all night because I want some shoes too. I want me some shoes.
Doing some shoes. I know that's right. But wrapping up today, Ken, I'm excited about football being back. I'm excited about the team. I'm excited about what the possibilities are for us. I want to be right on this, but I think maybe we're just a little bit ahead of the game right now, and that we're going to see a better product hit that field a lot sooner than we originally thought.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. With Mr. Sims over there at quarterback at this moment in this time, it's the right time.
It's the right time.
It's the right time. It's a free year for him.
Whew.
You know what I'm saying? It's a moment. And I get it.
Right.
I understand why they started it.
Right.
I mean, seeing him play
That's it.
and seeing what transpired when he did play,
Right.
I know that was the right decision.
Gotcha.
And if there was ever any doubt, the things the mistakes that he made are things that can be corrected.
There you go.
He'll learn how to look the safety off.
Right.
He'll learn how not to run into his right, and he'll learn to be able to look outside and see people coming back in, flashing across him. He'll learn all that stuff.
Right.
That stuff will come to him. But he's got some intangibles that you can't coach.
Right.
He's got some intangibles that you can't really. I mean, I hadn't seen this in a while.
In a long time.
From a Georgia Tech quarterback.
That's right.
The last time I saw this from a Georgia Tech quarterback that I was involved in was with Sean.
Sean, okay.
Sean was that quiet, kind of composed guy that didn't. If he was rattled, we didn't know about it.
That's very true. That's very
You
true.
know what I'm saying? The next time I seen it was with Joe Ham.
Joe Ham.
Joe Ham. We didn't play with Joe.
No.
But we know Joe, and we knew that he was
that guy.
That guy.
That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying? So when he stepped in, and you can see it with him, with Jeff Sims. When you talk to other players, when you hear them talk about him, that he commands the huddle. He commands respect. He commands all those good things. And the beautiful thing about it, kid, they get home at 3:30 in the morning on a Sunday morning. He's the first one in the building. On Sunday.
Right.
Not just to get treatment, but to get ready for UCF.
I was about to say that, brother, because I was like, what's so special about that? I was there first thing in the morning too, but that was to see Shoop.
That was to see Shoop.
I didn't see the trainer say, Shoop, I need something for my back, for my leg, my hams, or something.
I mean, in the cold tub.
Oh, in the cold tub. Well, when you had to get in the cold tub, you the last one in the.
You the last one?
Last one in the training room. But if they were going to put some heat on your back, you were there first.
You were there first. You're right. You're right.
But I'm excited about this weekend. What do you think, Ken? What's the score? What's the prediction?
Being our first home game, I'm going to go 24-14.
Okay.
And I'm going to take Georgia Tech.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make it just a little closer. I think it's going to be somewhere around 20. I'm going to say 20. I think we're going to get up there, Ken. I think we're going to get about 28.
Okay.
And maybe like a 28-23.
Okay.
Type scenario out there. But I see us being victorious this weekend, getting it done, and starting to turn some heads right now about what's going on down on North Avenue in the 404.
Yeah, and that's what we got to see. And like I said before, just want to see them build upon the success of last week,
right,
and continue in that same fashion. And we want them to win the ball game, but I just want them to play clean. I want them to play, still play physical,
right,
be fearless, do the things that are necessary for them to do to put themselves in a position to win the ball game. And then, as you can see, when you do those things, good things happen.
Right.
I'm just glad that we were on the winning side last weekend, and
absolutely.
I'm praying for this weekend. So we just glad to see it happening, and I'm just glad to see football. Period.
You got that right. You got that right. But I tell you what, you also gonna see on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Number 21, Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh,
Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs.
That'll be really good. That'll be special to see, and I just hope that he is the complement that we think he's going to be, and that he can be. Jemias Griffin played really well.
Oh, yes, he did.
And we didn't mention him, but he did play really well the other day.
Absolutely.
It was good to see the offensive line. I'd never seen them mesh like that.
That's true.
They played so well up front, man. We didn't get a chance to get into it like we really wanted to.
Right.
But the kid that's on the right side at the tackle,
Jordan Williams.
Yes,
sir.
He's the whole right side, man.
He's the whole right side. But I mean, Ryan Johnson actually compliments him with his size.
Right.
And so therefore, walking up there 6'6", 6'4", that whole right side, brother,
it's ready.
It's ready. It is ready. And so, I mean, I think even Jordan, he was so ready one time. He was downfield when he wasn't supposed to be downfield. But, that's a freshman thing that he can take care of. But the other thing you have to note on that is that there weren't any penalties. You didn't hear
nothing major.
Nothing major. Nothing. You didn't have an abundance of them and stuff like that. Jumping off sides, holding, that kind of stuff. These guys were playing disciplined ball.
Right.
Shout out to Brent Key, the offensive line coach. But these guys are listening to what's going to be coached, and they're going out there and they're making it happen.
Right, and that's what you want to see. We talked about it last week. You can tell when things are kind of sinking in with your ball players when they start replicating the coach and start sounding like the coach talk that goes on when coaches, coach talks about 404 and da. You can talk to the players and they're saying some of the same exact things. So they're buying into it, and it's good to see. It's good to see. I know a lot of people, change is hard.
Yes.
Change is real hard. And we've been through that year of change, that year of awkwardness, that year of we didn't really get a chance to do what we really wanted to do, but we did enough to make do with what we had, and that's all we could do. But this year, no excuses. You can tell it. Right. It's like we were getting ready to open this thing up, and we getting ready to do what we came to do. And it's exciting, man. I might buy a ticket. I don't
know. Well, if you can, there are some singles game tickets available for Saturday. So if you want to snatch them up, snatch them up. Otherwise, ABC 3:30 in the afternoon, prime time for all the world to see. Yellow Jacket fans, have a good time watching that. Enjoy that game. Let us know. Hit our website. Share this our show tonight with others out there. Let's get the Yellow Jacket Nation on board. We want to get about 40,000 of them tuning in with us.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
right
great.
now
That'd be
and
great.
seeing what's going on and supporting our Yellow Jackets. We thank you for supporting us, being there for us, commenting on the board. We're going to actually have a chance to respond to you guys, and we love interacting with y'all. Remember, our sponsors for tonight, the Covington Agency, 404-596-3951. Knowledge is power. Know-how is key. We thank you for Queen Esther Covington for that Tava lifestyle. You want to lose weight, you want to get your body in shape and regulated, check it out at kqtava.com. And then what you also want to get is that you want to thank Mr. Jeff Henderson for his product. Check him out, knowing that he's a tech grad, y'all. We need to support the Tech Nation and everything that they do. And we want to thank special guest Calvin Tiggle for coming on and then gracing us with a bunch of laughs and a great time and catching up with him. But these hours go by fast. Kim.
Go by fast.
They go by fast.
Thank God for Kim in the booth.
Yes, sir. We always gotta do that. Kim behind the glass, doing it up. You guys like our new set? We love it. We absolutely love it, and we hope you guys do too. The little graphics and stuff that we got going on is just going to the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. So have a great time. We love y'all. See y'all next Thursday. Root for those Jackets this weekend for another W. It's a player's perspective. Ken Swilling, Tom Covington. We out.
Peace.